Can I say that I'm still defining it as we go here?
I like that.
I think you can say whatever you want.
This has been a dream of mine for a long time to own my own brewery. I'm just kind of stepping into that new lifestyle. So,
welcome to Stout Conversations, where every week we sit down with creative thinkers in the craft beer industry and beyond. Your hosts, Ken and April, live and work in a 24-foot RV, traveling the country in search of great stories around a great beer. Governor's Park in Denver, Colorado. It's no wonder Kevin decided to open Counterculture Brewery and Grille here, in the heart of one of Denver's oldest and coolest neighborhoods. Having been seasoned in the food industry over the years with a long-time dream of opening a brewery, Kevin's idea of a counterculture, serving both handcrafted food and beer, how and when you want it, will beckon you in. But it's the people, always the people, that will keep you there.
you know, the goal was to maintain the taproom environment that's become so popular in the Denver metro area and add a kitchen. You know, we didn't want to go full service. We didn't want it to feel like you're walking into a restaurant where there's a hostess waiting for you to seat you and then you get your waters. And there's just such a procedure to walking into a restaurant. At some point you get to the end point and it's time to leave. Tap rooms aren't that way. It's much more free flow, and you kind of come in and maybe you were planning on eating, maybe you weren't. And you know, if you come in and you decide you see a plate of wings go past you and you want to order some wings, I encourage that behavior as well.
So speaking of all that, I believe we have some wings waiting for us that should go well with some of the beers that we've been drinking.
Cool.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
We end with cheers, but we should always start with cheers.
You can always start with cheers.
We're here with Kevin at Counterculture.
So like anybody that knows Denver, the beer scene in Denver, knows that it's basically, for the better part of the last decade, it's been mostly a taproom-centric craft beer scene.
Sure.
So why go back to kind of the old school brew pub?
You know, I wrote my first brew pub business plan 10 years ago, which was like a pie in the sky idea. And at that point, I was writing a restaurant and brewery, because in 2009, that's just what people did.
Right.
When I moved back out to Denver in 2013, I started working in tap rooms. I worked at Cannonball Creek and Golden for 4 years, and I jokingly called it my sabbatical, you know, because I went from restaurant management, 60 to 70 hours a week, you know, managing teams of 60 people, to managing myself behind the bar at a brewery and just sort of working 4 days a week and skiing on my time off and really just kind of taking it easy. So I've enjoyed that, but I've kind of missed the food side the whole time. You know, it definitely adds an additional complexity to your life as a bartender or an owner or a manager or whatever. But I missed it a little bit, and then I also think that food is super important if you're drinking. You know, if I want to keep people in here, it's important that I can get them something to eat while they're drinking. Like, we don't have a freezer in this place. We don't have a microwave in this place. So everything comes from scratch. We're making every sauce here. Our chef James and our brewer Nate are our two most important hires, clearly, because they're handling making what we're doing most. So yes, for sure. I mean, I had a menu that I put in front of James when we got going, and I said, "You redline this thing. You do what you want with it. This is just a starting point. This is some stuff from former menus, from former lives, things that I've done in the past." And he did just that.
How much red line?
Practically tore it to shreds.
Well, yeah, you have a background actually in a brew pub in Colorado, in Boulder, Mountain Sun, that is one of the few brew pubs over the years that was really known for both food and good beer.
Yeah, market. And then going along with my background in food and my enjoying the food side of the business, it was just an obvious fit to go ahead and bring food into the equation.
So you just opened, your grand opening was like a week ago, correct?
This past Saturday.
Okay, yeah. Are you still having fun?
Of course.
Okay, awesome.
Because there was also about a month of soft opening, right?
Yes, so we opened our doors on Friday the 13th in September. We did a mock service on Thursday, invite only, very scheduled time-wise, and we knew what everybody was going to order, so it was a cakewalk. It was really easy.
Right.
And then we got our liquor license on Friday at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we opened at 5 o'clock that night.
Nice.
And I literally, after I got the liquor license, I drove to 3 different breweries, picked up kegs from each of them, brought them in here, put them on tap, and we opened at 5. The word money pit didn't mean what it means to me now then. So yeah, we wanted to get revenues through the door. We wanted to get some practice. We needed to start making some money. Get going. So we opened with one of our own beers and 3 or 4 guest taps.
Well, and you couldn't start actually brewing on site until you had your liquor license in hand, right? I mean, could you prepare for opening like all on your own?
So you have to be able to test the equipment, right?
Right.
And so we tested our equipment with a research and development beer.
Okay.
We tasted it. We went through the process. We tasted it. We were happy with it. So,
but you couldn't fill your tap handles and have them all ready to go.
Bingo.
If you wanted to open right away after.
And our mock service, I was able to give away because I wasn't even licensed to sell anything. So I was able to give away everything, including glasses of our research and development beer. Okay. And then once we opened, we just kept that beer on and started selling it. And I'm pretty sure everything I did was legal. Pretty sure.
You better be. It's on camera now.
It sounds legal to me. I don't know. I mean, not that I know a whole lot.
And then
there's so many crazy laws out there.
The porter came out soon after that.
Right. Yeah.
And then we kind of just trickled our beers out as they were ready. And then once we had 4 of our own and the collaboration on, we decided we wanted to throw a party and actually make a thing out of it.
Did the opening and everything that you had hoped for when you were starting this? Because you had started, like, I read articles before about a year ago, like over a year ago that you're getting ready to open this. Did everything kind of go like almost as planned? Were there any huge challenges?
Lots of challenges. Things did not go as we planned. I mean, some issues with the city, some issues with design. I think just things that happen in a construction project. The old adage of whatever you think it's going to take, double it in both time and money was not 100% accurate, but it got pretty close.
So what keeps you pushing through instead of crawling under the counter to correct?
Well, we joked a lot of the time. We would just throw our hands up and be like, all right, well, we tried. The place is built, it's done. It's ready to go, but there are hang-ups that are holding us up. Yeah. So, no, we couldn't crawl under the counter and just give up. It was like, no, this is happening one way or another. It seemed impossible for us to fail.
The food.
I have to eat wings.
I mean, I wish you would. No,
I just know I like wings.
I brought buffalo out. I think that the buffalo wings will do well with pretty much all of our beers. I feel like
I was going to ask you next.
The Belgian Golden is probably going to cool it off a little bit. The IPA is going to probably spark it up a little bit. Cool. And I would say that the Encore would probably do the same. It would kind of bring the spice out rather than cool it off. Right, because
we've got the
you're going to find that a maltier beer is going to cool it off and a hoppier beer is going to spice it up.
Let's give it a shot. So these are buffalo wings.
Yep.
And do you do other styles of wings too?
We have our sweet and spicy Asian sauce, a barbecue sauce, and a buffalo sauce.
Okay.
They're very good. You have to eat one.
You can't have these in front of you and not eat them. Oh man.
So we do a dry bake with a spice to par cook them, and then we fry them.
Remember, this is from scratch. This isn't out of a jar.
What is that? That is awesome.
It's our ranch sauce.
Homemade ranch sauce?
Absolutely.
I like it.
Wings.
And I don't know if you can see him, but if you hear the voice, that's Nate. He's making this fantastic beer for us right now.
What's the difference?
Not my natural state.
It does. Because you said the IPA
That
bringing out
does
more of the
kick it up.
spice.
Yeah, it sort of kicks it up a little bit.
And
whereas the golden, I
the
think,
golden mellows it more. It totally does. I love trying the different pairings with food and beers.
So I worked at a dogfish restaurant in outside of the DC area for quite a while, and did a lot of beer dinners with them. And that's a lot of fun, writing menus for beer dinners and really getting down to the nitty gritty of what food you're choosing and why you're choosing the beer to go along with it. The best part about a beer dinner is testing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that answers my question right there. How much is because that's becoming a thing now. Like in the wine world, it's been a pairing with wine has been a thing for a long time, and now just in the last couple of years, slowly it's been creeping into the beer world. You see a lot of chocolate and beer, and
I'd say 10 plus years it's been creeping into. I mean, beer dinners are definitely not a new thing. It doesn't happen quite as much in Denver as I'd like to see it, but we definitely like to get involved in that.
They happen more on special occasions. You see a lot of them advertised for New Year's Eve or Valentine's Day, but they're not a commonplace.
So we would do about 5 a year when I was working at Dogfish, and we would do a St. Patrick's Day one. Right. We would do an Oktoberfest one. We would do a holiday one. And then there'd be a couple more. We'd like a Father's Day one, sometimes. So basically, whatever we were feeling in any given year. But yeah, they're just a lot of fun. I just love
We find
doing
ourselves doing the same thing when we're actually having dinner just at home.
choosing
Like,
Yeah.
what beer
Yeah.
is going to go well with this meal?
Well, and just recent at the last Great American Beer Fest, I went to a beer and food pairing at the Westin Hotel, which the Westin Hotel, if you know, I mean, everybody knows, is a pretty high-end hotel.
Yep.
And they're planning on probably about 4 times a year or so doing a dinner and beer pairing for their clients.
Getting together with a particular brewery and doing it with a brewery. Yeah.
Right, and to get customers in, really. I mean, because people now go on beercations, and Denver's a great spot for that.
Specifically in Denver, yeah. You know, the possibilities are limitless. You know, we can kind of do whatever we're feeling like we want to do. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. And like right now in the Taproom, we've done dessert beers. We've made every dessert we've done so far with our porter.
There you go. Yeah.
We
Oh,
have,
I've seen some pictures of those.
we have porter chocolate mousse on right now. He did a porter cheesecake. And we're suggesting, actually with the mousse, we're actually serving it that way, where it's a 5-ounce glass of mousse with whipped cream and graham crackers, and then a 5-ounce glass of porter next to it. So you can kind of go side by side and really taste them together. Yeah, I mean, like right now, what I really want to focus on is packaging to-go beer and to-go food. We have a crowler machine that we're not using yet, but we'd like to be able to do a burger and 2 crowlers deal for X amount of dollars, and you just call it in and it'll be ready when you get here, and then you can just grab it and go home to your apartment building, which is
And you're
right
in the
now.
neighborhood for that.
Right.
I mean, this is a perfect neighborhood for that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of residences around here, a lot of restaurants around here, a lot of walking.
We'd love to be so busy that people don't want to come in here because it looks too busy, but they know they can get some to-go food and to-go beer.
Oh,
so they'll
heck
do
yeah.
that instead.
That's not
You
such
can
a
change
bad
your mind
deal.
on a whim and still spend money.
Exactly. I mean, if it were me, I would come in, I'd order a beer, I'd order my to-go food, I'd order 2 crowlers, I'd drink my beer while I waited for my to-go food, and then I'd take it all. I'm a homebody. I work in a brewery, so I do like my time on my couch.
Oh,
That's why it's dangerous to have a brewery in the same area that you live in. Because we would be there.
No doubt. Yeah, we're excited about this neighborhood. We've got apartment buildings kind of all over us, lots of residential around us. I'd say that, the percentage is probably coming down a little bit the longer we're open, but I feel like 85-90% of our business is people who live right around here. A lot of them walked here.
But it's that like local neighborhood
Yeah.
area. Like that's kind of how you can make the money.
I didn't even know that this little area existed before we found this location.
Right.
I never spent any time in this neighborhood.
It's Governor's Park, right?
Yeah.
This has been around for quite a while.
For
Like
sure.
Benny's has been down the road for quite a while. It's like a staple to this area.
I ate that a lot during construction.
Yep.
And it's not really saturated with breweries. I mean,
No, we've
there
got
are
some
a
tap
couple
rooms
park-
south of us.
You've got some neighbors around that are good.
And then we have some north of us. But nobody doing exactly what we're doing.
Right.
So I struggle with the word balance because we don't like use actual balance, but I always like that question to ask is like, how do you find like that kind of way to be okay with working a lot and also have kind of a personal life where you find the things that you love to do as well as the work that you love to do? Is that a struggle for you, or?
Right
Is it-
now, yeah, probably.
Right. Well, that's why like balance is kind of the wrong word,
Sure.
because it can be a lot of this, and then later it can be a lot of.
A lot of our conversations right now are talking about how we can find balance. What do we need to do around here to create free time for ourselves? Both my partner as well as our chef are all working 6 to 7 days a week, but it's part of opening a business, right? It's just, you kind of go into it knowing that, and I've opened businesses for other people before, and even as an employee, I worked more than I was being paid to.
Of course, yeah, because it's part of getting that thing going.
Absolutely, and that's why you hire the right people that will care enough to treat this place like they own it, and our management team is definitely doing that right now for us. So we're getting there.
You probably don't even feel like you have your feet under you yet.
I was tired of soft open, I was tired of grand open, I just wanted to be open.
Now
And we're there. We're there.
Okay, so I have a very, very weird metaphor, and it's, I don't know, maybe it's kind of funny, maybe I'll cut it out. But, so people ask, like, when you're having a baby, like, how long are you in labor? And it's such a hard question to answer because it takes such a long time. So, like, when you ask how long does it take to open a business, it's the same as, like, if you're a one-hit wonder, you're really, or not a one-hit wonder, but a overnight success. You're not, because it takes you such a long time to get to where you want to go.
My business partner Justin approached me with this idea, in fall of 2017.
See, so that's kind of how you would start.
So it's been 2 years.
Say it's been that long. And
Since we first started talking about it.
in the scheme of things, that's not bad
It
timeline.
was probably 3 or 4 months before it became like, we're doing this. So this is a fun story. I'll remember the first time I ever had a beer and somebody told me what I was going to taste before I tasted it and where on my tongue I was going to taste the flavors. It was the Colorado Kind Ale at the Mountain Sun during training. And it was just like mind blown. Just like, how did you do that? How did you know that? Where did you get that information from? How did you know to tell me so succinctly what I was going to taste and how it was going to like affect my tongue? And I was sold. It was done. I wanted to do this from then on.
I can tell from that right there. There are many dinner beer pairings in your future. I can tell because it's like I've been starting to get enamored with that idea, and so I feel that, and I see it in your eyes.
It was just a really
it's just
fun
like,
experience.
You can see there's a passion there for that, and the food. You didn't want to just do food. You want, and it's not just. It's pretty good food. It's great food.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I feel like we're kind of a buzz right now. When people bring up the brewery, oh, I haven't been in there, but I hear the food is really good. And of course, we want our beer. Here it is.
How perfect is that timing?
There you
That
go.
we were just saying.
We've got our
food.
salmon sandwich here and our counterculture burger. Get these out of the way for you guys.
That looks really, really good.
You can just hold those over there.
You're hiding yours.
Oh my gosh!
And we got them backwards. So here,
That's okay.
Let's get these
still
right,
okay.
and let's get them both on camera.
Oh yeah, they're both getting on
behind the
camera.
microphone.
They're getting on camera only for a short period of time. Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay, yeah, that's a pretty impressive looking burger.
I would say get
And I'm
them
a
while they're
burger
fresh.
We do have one more question though.
Very good.
Okay. You ready for one more question?
I'll do one more
Okay,
question.
Yeah, we always have one more question. So we're
Because I
living
want
a
to
Stout
sink in.
Life, and for us, it's it's double-edged meaning, a full life, but also stouts, porters, or dark beers, or whatever beer.
Good
I
beer.
love. Good
Doesn't
beer.
matter. Good, light.
But we want to know what your stout life is. How you define your stout life.
I mean, can I say that I'm still defining it as we go here?
I like that.
I think you can say whatever you want. It's
This has
yours.
been a dream of mine for a long time to own my own brewery. I'm just kind of stepping into that new lifestyle. So, finding balance in that lifestyle. Now that I'm here and I've got it, I haven't quite found balance here yet.
I kind of want to
know
say
that I
screw
will.
balance.
No, because I need my time off. To me,
Okay, yeah,
balance
that's true.
is balance between personal life and work life. And while I love my work life, I still need time away from this place. So over time, finding that balance. But yeah, getting out, hiking, skiing, biking, spending time with my dog, spending time with my lady. Those are my future goals to kind of get back to now that I've accomplished what I've been working so hard to do for so long.
This is going to be fun to come back and talk to you like in a year, maybe 2 years, and then go back to this conversation right here about balance and stout. The one
got
thing
beer,
I'll
this is
say
good.
is what I've learned over the years and from talking to so many different people is that balance is never going to be 50-50, so don't shoot for that.
No.
It's never 50-50.
That's why balance is
the
kind of
balance
off.
is just the
That's kind of-
perfect mix for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So with
I'm
that-
far from retirement anyway, let's just say that.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Awesome.
Wait, I think the last scene has to be.
Oh yeah.
Take a bite of your
Not
burger.
just the cheers. It's got to be the
No.
Looks like a solid medium.
That is freaking awesome.
We have new conversations every week. Be sure to subscribe to Living a Stout Life so you don't miss out. Kevin has a passion for both food and beer, but especially pairing them together. What is your favorite food and beer pairing? We'd love to try them, so let us know in the comments below or by clicking the link in the description.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I feel like if you turned
I'll
like
lean
that, I would
down.
just be out of the shot.
I'll lean down.
I'll lean.
There you go.
Right this way. So we have this auger with like a cereal cracker option on it. So this allows us to grain in.
That's pretty cool. You don't have to lug the grains up at least and
No,
load them
exactly. Exactly. You know, and with our first actual brew was we did pre-milled, and we did do that, but that was before we had everything set.
Right.
And like any other brewery, we've got sort of something rigged up there to make it work, but he's crushing it up there.
Yeah, you kind of that comes with the territory. If you're gonna have a brewery, you got to know how to rig stuff up.
Yes. Brewers are master MacGyvers.
Yes.
So the system is a specific mechanical, which is at I think it's BC, Victoria, Victoriaville. 10 hectoliters, so that's about 8.5 barrels. So like slightly oversized for a brew pub system. And then again, I kind of talked about using every inch of space. So these fermenters are a custom design that specific does skinnier and taller. So we have all the ceiling space, you know, so we really just needed to use it as best we could. So we had these guys built skinny and tall, and then we had the servers double stacked. The goal in this brewery is to pour as much from the serving tank as is physically possible. So we had the tanks with a racking arm all the way at the bottom. So when the batch gets low, we don't just have to rack it off. We can actually pour
just
from
keep
there.
pouring off the tank. If your sweet spot is 6-7 beers or so, you're always going to have some guest taps on, or
Well, that's the plan. That's the plan.
Right now?
We use guest taps to fill holes in the tap list. So if I don't have something dark, we'll bring in something dark. If I have something light, we'll bring in something light. You know, we've got plans to do a couple lagers coming up, but I may bring in a pilsner from somebody else until we get
maybe
our
there's
lagers
just
ready.
styles you don't prefer to brew,
Bingo.
like some sours or some maybe, or whatever.
I mean, we're going to have problems aging beer around here because it's such a small space. So, I think that's a great example of bringing in something tart or something sour that we can't really do ourselves because we're not in a position to age the beer. So we've got a Goza on right now from Call to Arms. That's kind of that tart spot for us. We've got Brews Blondie on right now. And another way to use guest taps is, you know, we'd like to put the premium beers in a category right up against ours. So we've got a blonde on from Brews, and Brews specializes in Belgians, and they just won a medal. And we've got our Belgian Golden on. So like people can pick and choose, you know, drink ours and then try another and see what you think, you know, compare the two.
No, that's a great idea because, like, as your own brewery, you're probably not going to put two of the same beer on.
Often not.
But now you can have similar beers. One can be a guest tap, one can be yours, and people can like beer geeks like me can geek out on
geek
like
out on the
oh, wow.
idiosyncrasies of the two beers.
I can get both of them and go, wow, look at this. This one's got this one's got that.
You'll be like, I need the pints of this so I can compare them.
And,
Oh, yeah.
if
What a
that-
sneaky
if
way
that
to get
sells
more
me
beer.
another beer, then
That
that's
might be
good
the
by
way
me.
to go. We just discovered the like key to the business is like always brew something that you're going to have a guest tap of at the same time.
So that's one
So
of the ways we're
everybody
using
has
guest
to order
taps.
two.
And then I've worked at a handful of breweries in Colorado over
Yeah.
the last 6 years. So like I worked with Joyride, and we don't have anything strong, so I brought in their double IPA.
Right.
Intrepid Sojourner, I went ahead and got one of their beers that they're focused on right now. So I mean, this industry is so friendly, and people have been so good to me that I just want to give back to my coworkers and those that I've worked with in the past.
Oh, yeah.